Here's how things stand. Will's score should return true if the ball is in this triangle at the upper right or this one at the lower left. We've figured out that the ball will be in one of those triangles if the difference between the horizontal and vertical positions is at least a certain amount. That difference is the same along this line or this line, so we can determine it by checking just one point. In our example, the difference at this point was 250. Let's think again why. This point is 0 over and 300 minus 25 minus another 25 down. It's 250 down. The difference between 250 and 0 is 250. Since the over amount is 0, we can ignore it. So the difference is just the down amount right at this point, which will always be the size of the playing field minus the goal size once and minus the goal size again. In our particular case, that was 300 minus 25 minus another 25, or 300 minus 50. But in general, it will be the playing field size minus 2 times the goal size. Here, finally, is our definition of Will's score. It takes the horizontal and vertical position, finds the difference, and checks to see if that's bigger than some amount. The appropriate amount, we've just said, is the size of the field minus 2 times the size of the goal. This is almost correct, but we need 2 slight edits. First, when we compute the difference, we don't care if it comes out positive or negative. We always want to use the positive result, so that if we subtract 160 away from 140, we would still want to say that the difference is positive 20. Second, when we use Will's score, we're not actually passing over the x and y position of the ball, but instead the position of the upper left corner of the bounding box for the ball. If that corner is at some particular position, the center of the ball will be a little bit downward and to the right. If this square here was the bounding box for the ball, then the actual center would be half the ball's distance down and half the ball's distance over. So we'll start by adding half the size of the ball to the number passed as the horizontal position, and the same amount to what's passed as the vertical position. We can't easily test to see if this code is correct, but we can test to see at least if it has any bugs. Let's try checking to see if it runs, and we see that it does. A careful check would set the ball in one or more positions where it will score, and check to see that this function returns the correct answer, which is true. In fact, however, the function is correctly written, so we'll stop here.